You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sean Reynolds, the owner of Summit Properties Northwest, Reynolds and Kline Appraisal, but more importantly, your host of this episode of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. Today, we're checking out a couple of things. Silk Road, that illegal internet marketplace, and Bitcoin. We've got almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin has been moved from Silk Road through the Bitcoin system. Whose was it? Where did it go? Let's find out. So this has been a story for a few days. I think everybody in Bitcoin land and cryptocurrency was like, "Where? That's $1 billion worth of crypto moving through the system. What's going on here? Who's moving that?" And didn't really know who it was until just a few hours ago. And by the time you're watching this, that's probably irrelevant. But this is a breaking news story. Record $1 billion worth of Bitcoin linked to the Silk Road was seized by the U.S. government. Now you own it. I mean, citizens, we're the government, right? I mean, we fund it. That's our money coming back to us. We'll get a little bit of that, right? We'll get a little crypto? No. $1 billion, though. It's a big crypto seizure. The U.S. government seized, and I'm reading a CNBC article, CNBC Business. Can't go wrong there, right? You can, but that's a different story. The U.S. government seized an unprecedented $1 billion worth of Bitcoin linked to criminal marketplace, the Silk Road. What do you guys know about the Silk Road? It was shut down in 2013. I heard you could just buy anything there. I always wanted to check it out just to see, but I kind of figured that if I logged in, if I figured out how to log in and look at it, that just wouldn't be a good thing for my online identity. That's just not something, that's not where I want to be. I just want to see it. I want to see it anonymously with somebody else logging in, but won't have that opportunity because the Silk Road got shut down, and the guy who developed it and was running it, he is in prison for life. Make good choices. If you don't, you might end up in prison for life. Not a good thing. Thousands of Bitcoins were taken by law enforcement this week in what the Justice Department said was the largest seizure of cryptocurrency in the history of the agency. Silk Road was the most notorious online criminal marketplace of its day, U.S. Attorney David Anderson of the Northern District of California said in a civil complaint Thursday. The successful prosecution of Silk Road's founder in 2015 left open a $1 billion question. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Show me the money. Show me the money. Where did it go? Silk Road allowed people to buy and sell drugs and other illegal goods and use Bitcoin to anonymously fund those transactions. The dark web marketplace was shut down by U.S. federal authorities in 2013, and its founder, Ross Ulbricht, was sentenced to life in prison 2 years later. Bitcoin has since taken off as a mainstream investment vehicle in recent years. It climbed above 15,000 on Thursday. Is that last Thursday? Hitting the highest level since January 2018. The cryptocurrency has more than doubled year to date. I have some cryptocurrency. I should probably check on its value. That'd be a smart thing to do, right? Maybe it's time to hit the eject button on my position. I got a lot of stuff to do, though. I got a lot of podcasts to record, so you guys can, watch my podcast. I don't know. That's what we're doing here, right? This week, London-based blockchain analysis firm Elliptic said it picked up on the massive movement of Bitcoin spurred by the Department of Justice. The company reported 69,369 Bitcoins worth about $1 billion had been moved out of a Bitcoin wallet, which had the fourth highest balance of any in the world. Tom Robinson, co-founder and chief scientist of Elliptic, said the movement of Bitcoins may represent Ulbricht or a Silk Road vendor moving their funds, but that it seems unlikely that the Ulbricht would be able to conduct a Bitcoin transaction from prison. That's what I was kind of thinking. When I read this story initially a few days ago, I'm like, if that guy can move $1 billion in crypto from prison, he's already a smart dude. We already know that. A lot of master criminals are super, super smart. They just eventually get caught. And when you get caught for doing this stuff, you go to prison for life. So I was kind of thinking, if that guy can move $1 billion of Bitcoin out of his wallet to somewhere from prison. Can you do that? I don't know. Is that possible? Probably. I guess if you got enough money and you're paying people off. But, I mean, do they even let this guy near a computer? Probably not. Does Edward Snowden, does he get near a computer? I don't know. All those questions remain unanswered. And in this podcast, we're not going to cover them, but we're going to keep on going, right? The U.S. agencies were able to track down those illicit funds through a unit within the IRS that specializes in tracing virtual currency transactions. The IRS agents were able to identify 54 new Bitcoin transactions executed by the Silk Road, which appear to be proceeds of some of that illegal activity, the complaint said. The agency was then able to trace that money to a specific Bitcoin address that appeared to have hacked the Bitcoin funds from the Silk Road. While the Silk Road was in operation, thousands of drug dealers and other unlawful vendors used it to distribute illegal drugs, unlawful goods, and services to well over 100,000 buyers. At the time, it was taken down several years ago. Silk Road had nearly 13,000 listings for illegal drugs and many more listings, offering illegal services such as computer hacking and murder for hire. That's not good. According to the complaint, those generated sales totaling more than 9.5 million Bitcoins. The complaint also alleges that the Silk Road used a process to make it harder to track individual transactions of cryptocurrency. The forfeiture could be temporary, though. The U.S. still needs to prove its case before a judge before it can control the Bitcoin funds for good. A couple of weeks ago, I quoted AC/DC song, and that was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Along the lines of murder for hire here on the Silk Road, I'm just really curious, what does the price tag of that look like? Because, I mean, this was a real legit marketplace. What do you have to pay for that? And illegal drugs, what does that look like? Do I even want to know? I mean, I kind of want to know, just so I know. So that question just isn't like tickling in the back of my head. Hey, how much is a large batch of illegal drugs? What do you got to pay for that? I don't know. But I'd like to know, but I probably never will because Silk Road is done. Will there be something that replaces it down the road? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't care enough to really get there, right? I mean, that's kind of, if you're legit, you're not doing that. Let's look at the second article here, and it is from Vice. I like Vice. I think it's got some crazy stories, and they do some good investigative reporting at times. And Tim Pool used to be there, and I follow him a lot. And so, yeah, Vice. Let's look at it. U.S. Feds seized nearly $1 billion in Bitcoin. Let's move into it, though. In the civil forfeiture complaint, Anderson explained that the government took control of the wallet on Monday after an unnamed hacker agreed to forfeit the cryptocurrency. The hacker, who was only identified as Individual X, allegedly broke into Silk Road's website and stole the Bitcoin in 2012 or 2013. The hacker then transferred to the infamous wallet with the address, and man, it is a long address, 𝒆𝒂𝒕𝒍𝒆, and I'm not going to read the rest because it's got to be 35 characters. That's the address, individual address. And here is from the lawsuit, or not the lawsuit, but I guess it's the criminal complaint. According to investigation conducted by the Criminal Investigation Division of the Internal Revenue Service and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of California, Individual X was the individual who moved the cryptocurrency from Silk Road. According to the investigation, Individual X was able to hack into Silk Road and gain unauthorized and illegal access to the Silk Road and thereby steal the illicit cryptocurrency from Silk Road and move it into wallets that Individual X controlled. According to the investigation, Ulbricht became aware of Individual X's online identity and threatened Individual X for return of the cryptocurrency to Ulbricht. Individual X did not return the cryptocurrency, but kept it and did not spend it. Sitting on it. On November 3rd, 2020, this is item 23 of the court paperwork. On November 3rd, 2020, Election Day, Individual X signed a consent and agreement to forfeiture with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Northern District of California. In that agreement, individual X consented to the forfeiture of the defendant property to the United States government. On November 3rd, 2020, the United States took custody of the defendant property from 𝒔𝒕𝒕𝒍𝒆, and that is the cryptocurrency wallet. It's unclear who individual X actually is, and the complaint does not explain how the feds found them. Spokesperson for the United States Attorney's Office of Northern District of California, which is prosecuting the case, did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the case. Would you like to comment on this? No. We're not even responding. Just not going to go there. You guys are never going to find out because this is top clearance security stuff, cryptocurrency. Investigators identified several interesting Bitcoin transactions thanks to a third-party Bitcoin attribution company that found 54 transactions sent from Silk Road wallets to other wallets. On April 9, 2013, these two wallets sent 69,471 Bitcoins to the wallet now seized by the Fed. So this activity has been going on a long time. They've been tracking this. You got hackers involved. You got some government hackers that are legit paid by the government. They're probably actually hackers that, I mean, we've all seen the movies, right? Where does the government get their best hackers? By guys who hack and get caught and then just need to go work for the government. I mean, that's what's going on, right? One company that helped the investigators was Chain Analysis, according to the government's press release. We provided investigative assistance, and the agency used our software to follow the funds. That's what I'm always kind of curious about, is following the paper chain. How does that happen? How do you come up with it? And Bitcoin is it's kind of new, and the technology is so emerging that it's not surprising that it took this long to it took 7 years, right? I mean, a minimum of 5, somewhere in the 7. And people have been following this that whole time. And then all of a sudden, look at those Bitcoins going. They're moving through the system. Who's doing it? The United States government. So now, for those of you on the podcast, I'm looking at the actual defendant, the paperwork, United States Court, Northern District of California, San Francisco Division, United States of America as plaintiff, and doesn't even say X for the defendant. We don't know who the defendant is. They are going to keep that person's identity until this bad boy is wrapped up, more than likely. And that's just what they're doing. Will we know who it is? Yeah, probably at some point in time. But what a weird case. $1 million gets taken it's stolen. It's out there. And then the United States government swoops in, takes it, moves it through. Nobody knows who's moving it. It's the government. Here's what they're doing. So, crypto guys, if you're doing illegal stuff, is this a warning shot to you? And people have been moving crypto around for many years now, right? I mean, that's just what's going on. People are doing that kind of stuff. So I got to check on my crypto, though, for sure. Just see how it's doing. All right, that's it. I know this is kind of a short one, but there's not a lot else to tell there. When there is, I will let you know right here on the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've recently subscribed, much appreciated. I will catch up with you guys on the next one. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.